What's good, y'all? This is Lucious, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Anunnaki. I've been asked from several people on social media, a lot of people from Instagram, a few people on Facebook, mostly Instagram though. I've been having people ask me about the Anunnaki and my knowledge about it and stuff, and also my own personal encounters and experience, and also telepathic communication with the Anunnaki. So I'm going to dive into that. Right now, this is going to be like a intro kind of video to a series of videos that I plan to do, because I'm going to base these series off of my book. If you guys haven't read it or checked it out yet, I put a book out called the Book of Remembrance, and I really talk about the Anunnaki a lot, and also speak a lot about the Mother Goddess. There's been some things that I've been seeing through social media that's been floating around question-wise on, who created the Anunnaki, and how did they get here? And truthfully, guys, there's only one simple answer of who created the Anunnaki, and that's the Mother Goddess, who is the source of all life. And I speak about that a lot in my book, which is why I'm planning on breaking a lot of this down, because the Mother Goddess has a lot to do with the Anunnaki, and even just beings that are not even from Earth. I think there's one thing that the church has done and has blindsided humans from this particular truth, because of what mankind has wanted to create in regards to them portraying God. Because understand that when the Anunnaki had left, basically this is probably when the Dark Ages even began. I would say the beginning stage of the Dark Ages, because you have in the Emerald Tablets where Tahuti speaks about a coming age where knowledge will be lost. And the only time we can find this time period is the time period of the beginning of the age of Pisces, which truly is the Dark Ages, because that's when the papacy risen to power. That's when the Council of Nicaea risen to power. That's when all the slaughtering of indigenous people, witches, men, everything, like a lot of stuff has happened during the Dark Ages, because the knowledge has been lost. And so really the Bible and all these schools of thought or spirituality, whether it's dealing with gods or goddesses or whatnot, this all originates from ancient Sumeria. And people, you got to realize, like, there's a reason why ancient Sumeria is not talked about in our history books. This is like the first advanced civilization recorded in history. And on top of that, also pre-dynasty Egypt, that no Egyptologists talk about. None of these people talk about it, because this is all agenda based on the overseeing power of the Vatican. A lot of you might not realize this, but all of our school system, whether it be colleges, whether it be public schools, is all overseen by the Vatican. Like, our school books and our textbooks have to get approved by the Vatican first, because that's how much power they have given to the Pope. And this has always been the case. This is why the only power that the God of religion even has is the written word. And some of you that haven't seen my posts on Instagram, I encourage you to go check out a post that I did just yesterday. So I think, what's today, the 19th? So it was on the 18th. So go back on the 18th on my Instagram, and you'll check out this post that I speak on. That the only power that this invisible Father that nobody can't see, has no image, his only power is just the written word. And I'm going to get more into depth in that, as well as within my upcoming book, I'm going to speak on that a lot, on some of the things that have happened throughout history that is not spoken about, but needs to be spoken about in this time frame, because this is what's going to help catapult not only a new philosophy, but to build a better foundation for humanity. Because we have to know where we're going. And right now, we're all in chaos, because we're all over the place. You know, we're here, we're there, and we're not truly uniting as the human race. There's still a lot of division going on, and we need to unite as the human race. And uniting as a human race doesn't mean that we all have to do the same like spiritual practices. That has nothing to do with uniting the human race. What it has to do with the fact that we all have a lot of things in common that unites us. And one of the things that unites us is something that's within our DNA. And scientists calls this part junk DNA, which those of us that are enlightened, we know that there's nothing junk and the universe doesn't create any junk at all. So that is very important, because that so-called junk DNA truly is Anunnaki DNA that's in every human body. So you want proof of whether or not the Anunnaki are real? Look into your DNA, because it's already there. It lays dormant, which is why humans don't live as long as we should, because of that part of the DNA laying dormant in our bodies. So my question would be, what happens when that part of DNA gets activated? The New Agers talk about activating DNA and changing frequency and stuff like that, and that's cool, but there's still a deeper thing to it. And that activation that needs to be activated truly when it comes to DNA activation is the Anunnaki DNA that's in our body, because that is the next step, or the jump into our own evolution as the human species group, because we are supposed to be living longevity, to live a short lifespan, to me is very unnatural, because life is everlasting. And so we need to have new philosophy and new concepts on, people say life and death, but truly it's really about death and birth. And I'll explain more of that later, because that's because life is just life. Life stands on its own. Life is not synonymous to death. The only thing that's synonymous to death is rebirth, because we have all been reborn or born again, as the Christians say. The Christians, took that occultic word and made it their own. But truthfully, being reborn again has a lot to do with reincarnation. So, we've all been reincarnated at this point in time, in this particular lifetime. So that's where our focus needs to be on, which is why I did a video about past lives, and why I will be diving more into that series of past lives and stuff like that, because I myself have been connecting with certain individuals that have been a part of my past life and stuff. And it's not about being like, oh, let me beat myself up because of karma and stuff like that. That's another thing too that I don't too much agree with when it comes to some of the things that are taught in the conscious community, like, oh, I got to serve out my karmic whatever. And it's like, not necessarily, so-called dying, that doesn't change. That's not going to be like, oh, I get to, have a clean slate because, I served out my karmic debt. So now when I, leave Earth or whatever, I'll be good and stuff. And it's a little bit more deeper meaning to that. So this is just my intro video. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But I just want to do this video because, like I said, I haven't done anything in a while. And I will be doing more in-depth videos on that. So this is the introduction to the series that's going to be entitled The Anunnaki and the Mother Goddess.